everyone, it's Sharonda from Payroll Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is now streaming on the Disney Plus platform. So as you can tell, this is not my typical background. I am actually here at Star Wars Celebration, where I was one of the first in the world to be able to see the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But by the time that you will be watching this, you would have been able to experience the amazing first 2 episodes of this 6-episode season. So I'm just gonna dive right in because there's so much to talk about, and I got my entire life while watching this series. So we see that this series opens up and we see it's that moment in the temple where we see the younglings, they're trying to get away, and I kind of believe, and this is a theory, actually I'm pretty sure this is right, I believe that Moses Ingram's character, third sister, I feel as though that she was one of the younglings in that scene, because they would not, what would be the purpose of us going back to that exact moment to show us that if it wasn't going to have a connection into this series, which is in fact that I think that that's the third sister. Because I was like, sis, why are you so pressed about trying to find Obi-Wan, okay? The Grand Inquisitor was looking like, sis, it's been 10 years. Let it go, boo. Just let it go. She didn't want to let it go. So that's the theory that I'm running with, and I'm pretty confident that I'm right in that. So we go into that scene, and then we go 10 years after the attack, and then we see the ship arrives. It's the Grand Inquisitor, they're basically hunting down Jedi. You know, at this point, there's barely any Jedi left. You know, most of them have gone into hiding, and so the Grand Inquisitor, for those who went away from being Jedi to go into hunt the Jedi, this is what they're basically up to. And so we see that the Grand Inquisitor, he goes into this restaurant, and essentially we see that third sister, you know, he was trying to go into his whole little speech about how he knows when there's a Jedi around, or, you know, how people try to protect them, and how the rumors, everybody gossiping, that's what led them to this place today. But before he can even get done with his whole speech and try to convince everyone to like rat out the Jedi, third sister said, baby, I done had enough of hearing you talk. She threw the knife. The Jedi Nari, who is played by Ben Safdie, actually ends up stopping the knife. And so that is when he reveals that he is actually the Jedi. And so then we see that we cut to Obi-Wan. He's working at a factory. I'm not gonna lie, it was like he works hard for the money. I'm sorry, that's besides the point. But that came into my head when I saw Obi-Wan working at the factory. He was stealing food though. I was like, I know you trying to steal food, you know, for your pet, but like, how did nobody see him? No one saw him stealing the food. I know that has nothing to do with the grand scheme of everything that is happening, but that just really stayed on my heart because he stole it every single day that he worked. You thought people would have said something, but I guess it was just okay. Maybe they gave him a little piece of food at the end instead of payment. I don't know. However, we see that when Obi-Wan goes to his house, he has a visitor. A visitor is quickly throwing shade, saying, hey, and whatever you were there to look for, you should have got you some soap because you stink, okay? I was like, wow, we really going in like this. But I was like, hey, at least you were honest. But I will say my friend was a hustler, okay? Because when anything that Obi-Wan said, he was like, hey, I got this. You need me to sell this to you too? Let me know. It is what it is. But we see that he's handed a belt from a Jedi, and I'm assuming it was Nari's belt. And so he's handed this belt, and then he kind of he stares at it. But we see that we get a different version of Obi-Wan than what we were used to, you know, in the first 3 episodes. At this point, it haunts him, everything that has happened with Anakin, you know, how he was led to the dark side is really taking a toll on Obi-Wan. And we see that he is not the optimistic person that we had previously met in the first 3 episodes of Star Wars, that now it seems like he's been defeated. His spirit is gone. It's not the same type of Obi-Wan that we were used to seeing. But what I will say is Ewan McGregor is so fantastic in this. It truly felt like not a day went by from him playing this character. It felt like we went right out of episode 3 and then just delved straight into this episode. It's even from the simple mannerisms that he has, and we see this a lot We see this a lot more in episode 2 of the series when we see his interactions with Princess Leia. But just the mannerisms, the things that he does with his hands when he asks a question, when you could tell that he's trying to teach someone. I think that Ewan McGregor is so fantastic. I'm just so happy to see him back playing this character. But I really just want to give kudos because taking such a long break, you know, from playing someone to being able to just pick it back up like it was just yesterday, I just really wanted to give him kudos, and it's really just a testament to how good of an actor that Ewan McGregor actually is. And so we see that in the episode that he is still having nightmares about Anakin. He's having nightmares about everything that has happened in the first 3, I'm going to say in the first 3 films, but we know in his, you know, what's happened between everything that has transpired with Anakin going to the dark side, the fact that he feels responsible for Anakin's death. It's just a lot, and even responsible for the situation that young Luke and Leia find themselves in at this point in time. It just feels like a person that is very burdened with guilt at this point in time. And so we see that he goes to check on Luke. You know, the part of the deal was that Leia was going to go somewhere else to be raised. They were going to be separated. And he said that he will always watch over Luke. That was his job. And so we see that he goes to visit him. We see Uncle Owen, who is still not having it, still not happy with Obi-Wan. But we see that, you know, he kept his promise. He's helping raise Luke. And it was just nice seeing the kids. I was like, oh my goodness, look at the babies. Look at Leia. But we see that as Obi-Wan, as he's going back home, you can tell that he's being followed. And this is when he has to run in with Nari, who is just like, I've been looking all over for you. You know what I've been through to try to get to you. And he was just like, he's like, baby, I don't know who this Obi-Wan man is, but it ain't me, honey. So you need to go on about your day. And so he was just like, I know it's you. And so he basically tells him like, hey, I can't help you. That's none of my business no more. I'm not no Jedi. I'm not doing none of that. What I can tell you, the best advice that I can give you today here, you need to go in the middle of the desert. You need to dig a hole, put your saber there, your lightsaber there, and just go away. Just go into hiding, okay? So he gives he says the time of the Jedi, like it's over, it's done. And so Nari just like, he had his whole heart broken because he was like, Beach, do you know how many times I done almost got killed trying to come find your raggedy behind, and that's what you finna tell me the time of the Jedi is over? Like, that's all you got to say to me? That's okay. I added that extra ad lib into that, but I was just like, no, for real, Obi-Wan, did you see what he went through in the beginning to try to get to you? I felt disrespected, like he was talking to me, okay? So we then go to check in on Leia. We see that she's getting ready, she's getting pampered, and then when her mother comes in, it's not her. And so she is hiding out in the woods, living her best life, climbing trees. And I was just like, oh my goodness, she is so freaking adorable. But the young actress who actually plays Leia, and I'm gonna see, I don't even know if I pulled up her name, but when I say that little girl just embodies the spirit of Carrie Fisher and what she did with the character of Leia, I just think that she would be so proud, and her heart would be so filled with joy just to watch this young actress really carry the essence of who Leia is. But also too, you really feel the spirit of her mother, right? When we see when we see Senator Organa, you know, talking to her, you know, you can tell that he sees that she's a natural born leader. Even later into episode 2, when we see the interactions a conversation between her and Obi-Wan, he was like, you remind me of somebody, you're stubborn. It's just like, this little girl is just absolutely fantastic. And I was just so excited to see her, but I was just like, this is literally going to be a star. Instant star. Every scene that she was in, she literally stole the scene. And then especially seeing that, you know, the interaction between her and her parents on how, you know, the mom was like, it almost feels like I'm raising a boy, or how her cousin was being so disrespectful to her, very disrespectful to her. And then she checked him she gave all the shade back to him, even in the little scene when she's playing with her robot Lola, R.I.P. Lola, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix you, but I'm just gonna say R.I.P. because you made an impact on me in the few moments that I was able to see you. Even when she apologizes to her mom and gives her a hug, and then she steals Lola back from her, she is just, I loved every single minute of this. It was just everything that I needed. But we see later in the episode that that Uncle Owen, I don't know why I call him Uncle Owen, but that's just what I have to call him. But Owen goes to see Obi-Wan and basically says, hey, I know you have this whole thing where you're supposed to protect Luke. You're supposed to watch over him because you want to train him. And he was just like, it's not going to happen. Like, at the end of the day, Owen is still upset because, you know, you came to get Anakin one day and Anakin never came back home. Anakin's gone because at this point everyone still thinks that Anakin is dead. And so we see that there's a lot of hostility, you know, built up with Owen, and he really just wants Luke to be a normal boy. He wants him to grow up to have a normal life. And he just really wants Obi-Wan to stay out of it. However, in the middle of this conversation that they're having, we see that a ship comes and it is the third sister. And, you know, Moses Ingram, I was like, sis, you did that. I really like her character. Sometimes I do feel like sometimes it's a little bit like over, and I'll talk about this a little bit more once I delve into the second episode, but I really like her in this, and I love the progression that we've seen with her from where I was first introduced to her in the Queen's Gambit going to where we find her now in Obi-Wan Kenobi. But her character, I still think that she's one of the younglings at the beginning of the series, but this like hate that she has for Obi-Wan, how aggressive she was, the way she was finished, she chopped that lady's hand off. Now the lady shouldn't have said nothing. I was like, nah, ma'am, you see that she crazy, okay? You see that they out here trying to find these Jedi and kill them. Why was you talking out the side of your neck anyway? I would have had my head down. I wouldn't have been saying nothing. I'm not even gonna make eye contact. Hey, look at me, like, no, because I don't want to lose my hand. Okay, so next time you're gonna mind the business that pays you, and unless somebody actually comes up to you like she came up to Owen, just don't say nothing because you might be able to keep your hand. So it looked like she was about to kill Owen when she basically was like, hey, if you guys don't tell me where the Jedi is, then I'm going to kill him. But we see that she was interrupted and was told to like, hey girl, mind your business, come on, let's go. Like, boss didn't tell us to be doing all of this stuff. You just so impulsive and you don't think. So we see that later in the episode, Leia, when she was supposed to be apologizing. Now, Leia, if you would have did what you were supposed to do and go apologize to your raggedy cousin, you wouldn't have got kidnapped. And then I was like, hold on, is that Flea who kidnapped her? I was like, hey, Flea, what you doing in Star Wars? But I was like, you know, if someone said, hey, Sharana, come be in Star Wars, sign me up. So Flea kidnapped her, and I'm saying Flea because I wasn't able to grab his name. But Flea kidnaps Princess Leia. But then we later find out that that third sister, that she actually has something. She is responsible for the kidnapping. So Senator Organa, he sends a call to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan basically is just like, hey, son, like, I know you trying to get your daughter back, but bruh, I ain't got nothing to do with Leia. I am only going to protect Luke. That was our agreement. And then the senator's like, sir, you're the only person that can do this. You're the only person that I actually trust. So I need you to do this. So he later goes to him in person and he convinces him that like, hey, it's only you that can actually be the person to do this. And we see that he goes into the middle of the desert. He gets his lightsaber, okay? He gets his lightsaber and he's about to go on this mission. And yeah, and then the episode go off. And I was just like, oh, it was everything. Also too, it was nice to see CP3O. It was nice to see him. But I really liked the first episode. The first episode, I didn't know that they were going to focus that heavy on Leia. But I absolutely love her and adore her. And I actually kind of like this direction that we're taking to actually focus on Leia a little bit more. Because in the Star Wars films, I did feel like it leaned more towards Luke. So I'm just so excited to like actually keep watching. But I loved everything about this episode. And yeah, let's just dive into episode 2. I'll talk about all of this as a whole. Let me just finish delving into episode 2. So we see that he goes to this planet to try to find Leia, and then we actually get some Easter eggs. We get to see a clone trooper, if you remember. When they were making all of the clones and it was based off of one person, we actually get to see that actor again reprise his role playing one of the clone troopers. But we're introduced to Kumail Nanjiani's character, who is, I think it's Haja, and I could have said that wrong, but I think it's Haja, who is basically pretending to be a Jedi, okay? Taking all these people money, a scammer, okay? You see the impact of scammers that we are scamming in Star Wars? Now, it was already scammers in Star Wars, but I'm just saying, like, scammers, they just date back to so many years ago. I'm saying this like Star Wars is like a real thing, but I'm just gonna make it a real thing, okay? But he's out here scamming people, using magnets to act like he has the Force. It was just a lot. Acting, he had a down pack to like acting that like he can do the mind tricks, all of this. I was like, now sir, you've invested a lot into your scam, okay? So I'm gonna give that to you. But the way that you're taking these innocent people's money, it is not okay. And then basically Obi-Wan has to let him know, baby, I know that you're not a Jedi, but what I know that you will do is you're a scammer, you're a rat, okay? So I need you to rat out and let me know who. I need you to start snitching and let me know where this little girl is, okay? And so he leads her, he basically gives him the information that he needs to go and find Leia, which he ends up doing. He got into like some little fights and stuff. I was like, okay, look at you, Obi-Wan. You've been out of commission for 10 years, but I see it came back to you real quickly. And so he goes to find Leia, and Leia was ready for him. As soon as he opened that door, because she got Lola to help cut her out. We see that she ends up hitting Obi-Wan as soon as he comes in, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. And so then they basically go on this journey because they're trying to find a way to get out. Now, the problem with all of this is because Third Sister is so gung-ho on getting Obi-Wan, she puts a bounty on his head. So now everyone on the planet is looking for Obi-Wan. And so he has to find a way to stay out of hiding in order for them to be able to escape and so that he can get Leia back to her parents. So this seems all fine and dandy. They're having this cute little banter back and forth as she's asking questions until she sees that he has a bounty on his head. And of course, Leia was like, you feel like I've been feeling like you've been hiding something, okay? And now I see what you hiding because you got a bounty on your heads. And I don't think my raggedy parents sent you here. She didn't call her parents raggedy. I'm just calling her parents raggedy. But I don't trust you. So what does she do? Like any child in situations like this in movies and TV, she ran away. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, as much as I love this little girl who was playing Leia, as soon as she ran away, I said, let her go. Let somebody scoop her up, and that's gonna teach her the next time, don't be trying to run away. So in the midst of all of this, then people start trying to find him because this little girl running around and draws attention to them. And so now the bounty hunters are basically trying to kill him. And so in the midst of all of this, Third Sister, she ends up getting stopped by the Grand Inquisitor. He makes an appearance. And when he called her gutter, I did do a side eye. I said, why she gutter, Grand Inquisitor? Okay, he said, you were the least of us. You are beneath me. He read her for filth. I'm not gonna lie. He did read her for filth, all right? Which still leads me to believe that she is still the youngling like I said that she was. But it is what it is. They're gonna probably reveal that in the next episode. But in the midst of all of this, Haja, or Kumail, until I can figure out who his character is, he's the one who actually ends up helping them. But before that, Lil Leia thought she could start. I was like, how her little legs hopping on both all these rooftops, and then it was as long when I was like, now girl, you know you cannot make that jump. And then Obi-Wan said, Leia, no. And I was like, nah, Obi, let her go ahead and do it since she want to listen to you. So then she tried to jump. And at first, I ain't gonna lie, I thought she was finna make it. But then she fell, and I was like, serves her right, okay? But she grabbed on, holding on her one little kid hand. I'm surprised her little kid hands don't really be doing nothing. But since she got the gloves that she wanted, that's probably why she was able to hold on. So she's about to fall, and Obi-Wan is like, Leia, hold on. And then she falls, and then it's like the slow motion. She's falling. And then he does, and I was like, come on, Force. And then it happened, and then she stopped from falling, and she floated. And then what pissed me off was at the end of all of that, when he gets down to her, she was like, you really are a Jedi. I was like, Leia, you can't, you know, the children are our future. She better be lucky that I know what she's destined to do. Because I was over her. I'm not going to lie. I was over her. But Kumail's character, Haja, he actually ends up helping them. He gives them information, gives them a key to a ship so they can actually escape. But the third sister is on their tails. Now, first of all, she's doing all these flips and stuff. At one point, I was like, is she a cheetah? Did y'all see when she jumped on her? She was jumping between. I was like, now y'all, that was a little too much. It was a bit too much, okay? And at times, I feel like they almost overpower her. And it just doesn't really make sense because we don't know that much about her. But she gets close on Obi-Wan's tail. I thought she was finna get him. She's finna get in the ass too. But we see that Grand Inquisitor interrupts her and is like, no, I'm gonna take him. She ends up killing him, and it's revealed at the end that she's like, I'm gonna take you to the Dark Lord, and then I'm gonna take you to Lord Vader. And then that's when, you know, Obi-Wan, she tells him, like, he's alive and well. Okay? He's alive. And I know about Luke too. Okay? That's some info for your raggedy behind. She didn't say that, but I'm just saying. And then we see that, you know, when he calls out Anakin, and then it goes to a tank, and then we see Anakin in the tank, and then it goes off. And I was like, y'all, I need more episodes, okay? They needed to show all 6 episodes at the Star Wars Celebration. But what I will say, I enjoyed this so much more than I thought that I was going to enjoy it. I didn't know what to expect, and I don't watch trailers or anything. I really just like to go into things blind. So it was really a treat to see that they were actually going to focus on potentially Luke. I don't know yet. I've only seen 2 episodes, but the fact that we get to delve so deep into just Princess Leia and where she is at this time, and just being able to, you know, knowing everything that happens and actually being able to see them as young children, to be able to see this dark path that Obi-Wan was led down after what happened with Anakin. I think that is going to be something that's very interesting to actually explore, and I'm excited to see them actually explore the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and explored Obi-Wan actually being able to let go of the past. Like Senator Organa was like, hey, it was the past, it happened, let it go. But I really enjoyed this. I'm very interested to see if the Grand Inquisitor is actually dead, because it actually didn't make sense that he was killed in this episode. But I did like Rupert Friend, who plays him. But that's the story for a different day. But I cannot wait to watch the rest of these episodes. I'm very interested to see what everyone at home, what you guys thought of the episode. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you love the episode? Did you hate the episode? What was your favorite parts of the episode? How are you feeling about Third Sister? She's one of my favorite characters behind Princess Leia, because that girl was just absolutely amazing until she ran away. But I'm gonna let that go, okay? I'm gonna let it slide. But it is time for me to go to bed, because I gotta get ready for another day of Star Wars Celebration. So those are my quick thoughts. It ain't nothing quick about it. This video almost 25 minutes. But those are my thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi. As always, my name is Sharona from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.